Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honor to my elders, the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. And as always, peace and mercy to the elect of Israel. I'm the brother Yawanathan, back with another quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai to feed and edify the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, if it be the Lord's will. And phase 2 is immense. All right, these devils, knowing that they have but a short time, they're getting ready to bring much wrath, great wrath upon this planet Earth. All right, and it's all by the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, who this world ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ. Because as the scriptures say, the end was declared from the beginning. All right, and the scripture tell you what the end is. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So this is all the Most High's movie ultimately, but you know, he's using these devils, the Edomites, the so-called white men, starting with their international banking families, who are the elites of the nation of Edom, you know, who control everything. He's using them to bring forth, you know, this next phase in this time of trial and temptation, you know, because ultimately it's going to lead to what? The hour of temptation. And now we get in wind that supposedly the Homeland Security, Department of Homeland Security, you know, somehow they got the intel that Russia is planning on launching a cyber attack against Babylon the Great, America, the United States. So it's always a, you know, coincidence, so to speak, quote unquote, that before something even happens, you know, these devils know that it's going to happen. But not only do they just know that it's going to happen, they know who's going to do it, and they can't stop it somehow. They know who's going to do it. They know when it's going to happen. They know what's going to happen according to what they tell you, you know, but yet they can't stop it. You know, you have all these alphabet groups and these different military professionals, and they can't, right? They can't find a way to prevent something like this from happening. And what's even more fishy is that when you read through it, I'm not going to read the whole article, but just the first couple of paragraphs, it says a new Department of Homeland Security bulletin warns that Russia could launch a cyber attack against U.S. targets on American soil if it believes Washington's response to its potential invasion of Ukraine threatens its long-term national security. So here it is. This is chess. You know, this is not checkers. War, you know, the game of chess is very much like war. Sometimes you have to sacrifice a piece. You got to always be like 3 steps ahead of your opponent, you know, of your enemy. It's very similar to the act of war. You have different pieces, pawns, rooks, the king and the queen, stuff like that, right? So if you know that your response to a country which is bordering another country and they want to invade that country, so to speak, which is Ukraine that I'm speaking about. Russia is supposedly setting up troops on the borders of Ukraine, which they are. It's not supposedly. They are doing that. That's their border. And if I'm not mistaken, I would have to go back into the history, but I believe at one point in time, Ukraine actually was part of Russia. But before it was called Russia, when I believe it was the Soviet Union. And if it wasn't that, it could have been the Warsaw Pact, if I'm not mistaken. But don't quote me on that. But the point being is that here it is, America's on the other side of the earth, you know, on the western hemisphere of the planet, and they're interfering in something that basically has nothing to do with them, in the sense that it's on the other side of the world, right? But yet, you know, it's according to the Department of Homeland Security, we know that if we do respond to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, that they will launch a cyber attack against the United States. So then why would you respond to it? See, they setting you up for the okie doke, man. This is how these devils roll. You know, they always constantly throwing distractions in the news. You know, all this stuff about these celebrities and stuff. I don't even pay attention to this shit, because that's just purely garbage. It's just entertainment and distraction. You know, bread and circus, so to speak. But when you look at what's really going on in the news, you're like, It wouldn't make any sense. If you have a functioning brain, none of this makes absolute sense. And that's because there's lies behind it. When something doesn't make sense, it's because it's not the truth. All right. And what is the truth is that these devils themselves are the ones that are, prepping a cyber attack. Okay. They've been doing drills for EMP preparedness, things like that, man. Cyber attack drills. They've been doing it, man. All the countries around China, Russia, North Korea, Japan, they've all been doing drills for these let's say for the last decade. Let's just put it like that. So something is about to happen, man. All right, they're getting ready to make their next move. And I was watching Dabu. Oh, damn. Well, yeah, I was watching Dabu's channel, his recent videos dealing with cyber attacks. And he pretty much was going into how the same thing what I'm pretty much saying, like, why wouldn't they arrest these people if they know exactly who's planning this cyber attack? Because according to this article from the Daily Beast, it says Department of Homeland Security warns that right-wing extremists could attack power grid. And see, these headlines a lot of the time be very misleading, because when you actually deal with the article itself, it says domestic violent extremists. That's another code name for even the Israelites, because under the Project Megiddo that they have, the FBI and the CIA have, they consider Hebrew Israelites, black Hebrew Israelites, or black extremists. All right, so there you go, trying to, once again, set up the innocent, and the righteous, privily setting traps for the innocent and the righteous, like the scriptures tell you. This is what this devil does. He's setting a trap up, man. He's trying to frame us, basically. And not, I wouldn't say us per se as individuals, but really his attack is against anyone who's against his new world order. But we know that the men of the Lord are on the forefront of that. How do we know that? Because 2nd Ezra 16 verse 70, around 68 to verse 70, it tells you there's going to be an insurrection against those that fear the Lord. But it's going to be all you people all you so-called doomsday preppers, these devils been killing y'all. All you people that claim to be one up on the government, you're going to go off the grid and, you got food stored up. That they're not going to allow you to, get the one up on them, man. And ultimately, it's not the will of the Lord, because you people that's in the earth right now, outside of the elect of the nation of Israel who's promised salvation, you only here to get judged, man. This is a time of your judgment, when the electric grid goes down, when there's no food and water, when there's a famine, when Lord willing, there may be an EMP attack and all the power is shut down. It's going to be a time of judgment for you people. When the so-called white man start bringing in his Gurga troops and UN troops, to override the United States government and any form of constitution or law by way of martial law, is the time of you people's judgment. All right, is a fun time is over, so to speak. Playtime is over. And you could clearly see that they setting this thing up. Right, it says domestic violent extremists and racially motivated extremists have been developing plans to attack the U.S. electric sector. Why aren't they stopping them? They know who's doing it. They see that they clearly know that there's a plan, there's a plot in place that's getting ready to be executed. Why can't they stop them? That's the question. Or why won't they stop them? And why would you play right into their hands as far as them saying that Russia could potentially, launch a cyber attack against the U.S. for responding to the issue on the Ukrainian border? So why would America then get involved? That's not a smart chess move if you get what I'm saying. It's clearly being done on purpose, man. This whole thing has been done by design from day one, from the pandemic to the JAB and ultimately to the MOTB. All of it has been planned out craftily. All right, these devils have sought out a diligent search, man. And they planned this thing out damn near perfectly according to their own mind. But it really is the mind of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, which is why it's not going to work. Because the Lord is setting them up for failure, man. All right, that's what you got to understand. You're not supposed to fear these things. This has to happen. This is the judgment of the wicked. But as far as for the righteous, we don't have to worry or fear none of these fear. We don't have to worry about or fear none of these things, because it's all the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And what we're doing as well is we're doing the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai on the right hand. And we serving the Lord by doing this work, going out on the highways and byways, doing these videos, staying diligent, staying on fire. That's how we serving the Lord. That's how we performing the will of the Lord. Right? So we know, according to prophecy, who's actually going to win. Jacob is going to win. All right? Not Esau. According to an intelligence bulletin from the Department of Homeland Security that was issued this week and obtained by the Daily Beast. So, again, it's like, how do they know that this is going to happen? And it's happening. This is from Yahoo News again. But actually, I don't really understand how Yahoo News works, because I see the source is The Hill. Over here in the other article I saw, it was USA Today. So I guess they kind of becoming like a, they always been a search engine, but, they give you other sources. So this is actually from The Hill. It was published on January 25th, 2022, the year of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai turning up, which we could clearly see Canada's foreign ministry targeted in Cyberattack. All right. The Canadian Foreign Ministry has been impacted by a cyber incident that has interrupted some of its internet-based services. So they're attacking that internet, man. And the reason why they're doing that is because there's too much truth coming out, man. There's too much truth. Dabu brought out in a Kentucky hospital. I forgot the name of the hospital. But they said pretty much their phone lines were down and certain electrical components wasn't working. And that's very dangerous, because you can have somebody that's on a plug, meaning on life support, and, once that power go out or the system is disabled, that person is pretty much dead. And there'd be a lot of people up in these hospitals that are stringing on to life, and that's all that it will really take, really. An EMP or some type of cyber attack, and a lot of people are just dead right away, Actually, this was back in 2017. It's an article from Futurism. It says, Congressional report, a North Korean EMP attack would kill 90% of all Americans. And that's over in a process of time. That's not, you're not going to die from the EMP. The EMP is just an electric magnetic pulse that knocks out the electrical grid. But due to the electrical grid being powered down, you won't have the ability to preserve food unless it's wintertime. That is, but even if it's winter, that's even worse, because now you don't have heat. You won't be able to pump any gas at the gas station, because that's all operated through electricity. You see, so they don't have a generator big enough to power the whole United States back on. They'll be, some people have generators here and there, whatever. They may be able to turn on certain things, but it'll be a disaster. Planes will be falling out the sky, cars will be crashing into each other, because your brake system would go out more than likely if you have like any car from, I believe, probably like the year 2000 and upward, even maybe before that, maybe even going into the 90s. But the point being is that, what this is, basically it's a spell for disaster, man. All right, it's a perfect timing event. It's the that Black Swan event that Apostle Tahar brought out in videos in the past. It's one of those things that is like, it's so perfectly timed, it has to be set up. It just can't be a coincidence. It can't be something that just spontaneously is happening. It's clearly being orchestrated by people who have power, and they're against the people that are going against their power, their structure, which is that new world order, the image of the beast. Those that are not going to worship the image of the beast should be put to death. All right, and they're going to put you to death in many various ways, and not only just concentration camps, man. This famine that's being brewed up is that's what it is, being manufactured. It's not a natural famine like the Most High is just causing the sun and the rain not to, feed the earth so it can grow crops. No, it's them controlling it, containing it, or confiscating it, which they have executive orders that they can activate at any time to take your food and water if you have any stored up, or anything really. Anything that you possess, the government has the right through executive order to confiscate it from you in the time of a national emergency. So don't you think a cyber attack would be some form of national emergency? No more internet, no more truth. Because how are we going to teach the word if there's a cyber attack and the internet's down? You see, this is all lining up with the prophecies and the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. This is how we know that, Lord willing, this could be the year, man. All right, Lord willing, they actually move forward with it and do it quick too, because we already know what the scriptures say. They have to do it quick because they have a short time. Hey, the quicker they do it, the quicker we'll be out of here. Because Yahushua will be returning very soon upon, these prophecies coming to pass. It's just a matter of time. A cyber attack is an offensive maneuver that targets computer information systems, computer networks, infrastructures, or personal computer devices. Or it could be all. Right? So we know that everything right now through smart technology is being powered through computer sources, man. It's being powered through radio frequencies, antennas and things like that. So if there was some form of cyber attack on the electrical grid, like the Department of Homeland Security mysteriously knows that is going to happen, you wouldn't have a phone, you wouldn't have a computer, you wouldn't have any of these electronic devices. So what would that lead to? The famine of the word, man. That would lead to rioting, looting, panic, which the people's minds are already on edge because of these last 2 years of this pandemic. So this would be the perfect time to do something like this, man. 2022, man. This would be the perfect time to bring in an EMP, to bring in a cyber attack, to pretty much shut society down as a whole. And so they can build back better. MOTB, the microchip. Here's the solution, right? This is Isaiah 24, verse 7. I'm just going to read from verse 7 to 12, and I'm going to end the lesson off there. If any other scriptures come to mind, if the Spirit hits me with something else, I'll bring it out. But pretty much this says it all. All right, Isaiah 24, verse 7. And I've quoted scriptures throughout this lesson so far. So if you're keeping up, Isaiah 24, verse 7. The new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, and all the merry-hearted do sigh. And now what is this talking about? When you start up at the first verse, I'll read it. Behold, the Lord Yahweh, in all caps, maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. So this is some type of divine judgment, not some type of, but this is a divine judgment from the Lord upon the people of the planet Earth. And how is it going to be done? Ultimately by thermonuclear destruction, World War III. Because guess what? These cyber attacks are a part of World War III. This is some form of hybrid modern warfare. This is not your conventional ancient warfare. Nobody's playing fair. It seemed to be all staged. This is not a regular just one nation of people, or one kingdom against another kingdom, man. That is what it is on the bottom line, of course, but it's a lot deeper than that. The new wine is going into the new philosophy, man. Like these new, which are really not new, but basically what they're giving you now. The new wine is like, this is the new norm, so to speak. Is languishing, is faded away. Let me read it again. I mean, not faded away, language. The new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh. So people don't want to drink of this wine. Wine in the scriptures is compared to philosophy. So this new philosophy that's being pushed on the people is that new world order, right? Pedophilia, all these different things. Hey, well, it's more. The new wine is mourning. The people are mourning. Proverbs 29:2. This is not the way to live, man. And the direction that we heading into is going to be a complete breakdown of humanity. A complete halt to humanity as we know it, so to speak, because they want to rewrite the foundation of what it means to be human. That's why they got this evolution theory. They want to jab you with the mRNA, with a patented thing, patented juice. They want to put in your body. This is new wine. The old wine will be the ancient world. The truth, man, the philosophies of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai that dominated the ancient world, man. When people were keeping the laws, even the heathens, which they never kept it perfectly, it wasn't given to them, but yet they still knew certain truths, man. There's just certain things that it's just unwritten rules, so to speak. Like you're not supposed to kill or murder another human being, but look at the time we in now. That's just a regular everyday thing now. The mirth of Tabaret ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth. Yeah, because it's going to be a time of judgment. And all you have out here is nothing but death and destruction. That's the only thing that's coming down the pike, man. The only people who's going to be delivered from this death and destruction that's coming upon us is the hopeful elect, the elect of Israel. Those are the only ones that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai promised he would be with during these times. For the rest of you people, yeah, it's over for you, man. All your fun and games, your bread and circuses is all over. The joy of the harp ceaseth, they shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. So even if you do happen to get a drink, which again, that's twofold philosophies, but also is dealing with people how, the scripture tell you, a man that's ready to perish, give him strong drink. The heavy-hearted, give them wine. So that represents what? These people, they're not happy anymore, man. They're not drinking to celebrate. They're not having a glass of whiskey with their boys at the bar or whatever. People are not really doing that. They drinking their whiskey in their house, watching the news while their hair is falling out their head. They stressing the hell out, man. They don't know where their next paycheck might come from, because they didn't take the jab yet, and their job is threatening to, remove them if they don't receive it. This is what the scriptures is dealing with here, because it's going to go into it. The city of confusion is broken down. What is that city of confusion? It's mainly dealing with America. All right, the city, this is the great city, Babylon the Great. And Babylon itself means confusion. Babel in the Hebrew, confused land. Babel land. All right, confused land. That's America, man. Everything is backwards. Everything is upside down. This is Bizarro's world, man. Like Superman's arch nemesis, which really, no, it's not his arch nemesis, but it's his polar opposite. The dude got the B backwards on his chest. You go to the Bizarro world, if brothers know what I'm talking about, everything was backwards and upside down. Everything was flipped around. It was a complete dystopia. And that's what these elites are creating, man. It's being broken down strategically. It's being besieged strategically, man. This is an act of war against the American people by his government. All right, you don't have to believe it. You might not believe it. You don't have to believe it. But that's what it is. And the sooner you realize that, the better off you'll be. Right? Because they setting traps for your feet and you walking right into it, man. That's all you people are doing. You walking right into the trap. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. Because if there's a cyber attack, if there's an EMP, everything is shut down, man. Nobody's going to be opening their business. With what power? How are they going to run and operate their businesses? No power. No internet. You see? Which means what? We won't be out there teaching, man. And that's going to even create more confusion for the people, because they're going to look to us for answers. But these are the answers right now, man. If you're listening to this video, this is the answer. It's already been given to you. This is the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. There's nothing we could do about it. You just got to go through it, man. All right, the Lord, he already willed it that this will happen, so there's nothing that anybody can do. But what we can do is just be aware, keep our eyes open, so to speak, our spiritual eyes, be diligent, and hope that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai have mercy upon us. That's all we can do. And the only way you can do that is if you're an Israelite, and if you're an elect Israelite. All right? So we just gonna have to deal with this, man. But we have to still call it out, because this man's the devil, and he's the one that's bringing this. He's the one that the Most High is using to bring this. Verse 11, there is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. See, so there is no more mirth in the land, man. You see like 42nd Street, Times Square used to be a very lively place. You don't really see that many people out there no more, man. The whole energy of this country, the Most High put a dark spirit over it. All right, it's a very gloomy vibration. You know, and soon it's just gonna get more intense. I had a dream the other day that I woke up in a concentration camp, man. I can only explain it to the best of my ability. But if I had to give the vibration a color, it was a gray. It was like a dark gray, man. You know, it was very gray. It was very bland. You know, everybody was like dead. You know what I'm saying? Like their energy was just gone. And it reminds me of this scripture right here, man. Because, you know, that time, man, when we in that time of Jacob's trouble, like the apostle always says, you're not going to question if we're in Jacob's trouble. You're going to know. You're going to know it in your spirit, man. You're going to feel it. There's going to be a different vibration out here, man. There's a crying for wine in the streets. What is that talking about? They're going to be looking for the truth. Amos 8 and 11. The cyber attack goes hand in hand with the famine of the hearing of the word of the Lord. So they're going to be crying, man. They're going to be looking for this truth. They're going to be seeking the Most High early, but they're not going to find him. Proverbs, the 1st chapter, verse 20 through about 28. And the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. And that's ultimately what's going to happen. This country is on a steady decline. It's not going to recover. It's not going to be healed. They're not going to fulfill their dreams and their desires of a new world order. This place is going to get nuked. Talking about America and other parts of the earth as well. But ultimately, the whole new world order, the entire globalized plan, the agenda of the elites of the Edomites is going to fail. All right, Job 5 and 12, man. They're not going to be able to perform their enterprise. And their enterprise, when you deal with that word enterprise in the Hebrew, it means abiding success. You know, so they don't just want the new world order. They want it, and they want to maintain it forever. That's the biggest lie ever, man. You're not going to get that. You're not even going to get anywhere near abiding success. All right, you're going to get a little taste. It said when you're about to fill your belly, Job, the 20th chapter, the Most High is going to cast the fury of his wrath upon you. So you're not even going to get a taste, man. And any taste that you do get, the scriptures say you're going to vomit it back up. All the riches you already stole, everything you've already done is going to be reversed. And vomiting is a violent action. So it's going to be done through violence. Daniel 7 verse 18, man, the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. All right, so when Yahweh Shem Yahushai raises us up, you know, we're going to be turned into hunters. We're not going to be playing with you people, man, especially you elites, the kings and the nobles. We're not going to be playing with you, man. You know, this is not going to be no fair takeover, no declaration of war. You're just going to be wiped out, man. And not wiped out like extinct, but meaning your thrones, your dominions, your rulerships, any power, any form of influence you had on the planet Earth is going to be done away with in a moment. All right, when Yahweh Shai comes back, man, with the holy angels, that's when the whole earth is getting shut down. Operation shut down. You know, that's the real cyber attack, if you will, because the whole society is going to stop. The whole earth is going to stop, man, at the coming of Yahweh Shai. And that's what you elites fear, man. We know that. And we fear that too. Guess what? We all fear that. All right. But there's different types of fear. And the fear that y'all feel is more like guilt. Because you know you're guilty. You know you got to pay. All right. But you trying to pull all these cars and stops. You know, you're trying to prolong your time to rule, and you can't do it. All right. So, hey, it's just a matter of time until they actually bring this thing on. And once that happens, things is going to move real quick, man, in the spirit. Things are going to move real quick because Yahweh said he was going to shorten the days for the elect's sake, because if not, no flesh will be saved. All right. So, hey, you know, with that, I'm going to end the lesson there. I think that was all I had. Yeah, just a couple of articles. You know, you can watch Dabu's video if you want to, but pretty much he just went into the same thing I just did. So I hope and pray this was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And I see you brothers and you few sisters of the hopeful elect in the next lesson. Shalom.